ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Tuesday. It is 12 midnight here in the UK, which means only one thing. Well, it's actually 6 minutes past midnight now after that video, which I have to say thank you to you guys for requesting that over on Patreon. That was my song called Running Blind. And you can get that over on my website, wingsofpegasus.com, if you want to. But it's unfortunately, it seems to be relevant all the time, that particular song and the video. And it's almost as if with that video that I put together, you could just change the imagery to what's in the news now, and it's just going to make as much sense, which is very depressing. But anyway, we will move on into tonight's live stream, where hopefully things are going to be a little bit more upbeat, with you guys joining me in the house tonight. Let's see who's in the live chat room. And we have Charlie, Corey, Billy, Paul, Laurie, Carla's in there moderating, Bob's in the house, Francis, Mark, Michelle, Sam's in there, and Paul again, Almanux or something like that. So Shawnee Key as well. Hello guys, thank you for joining me tonight. That was a bit of a challenge, that username, and it's a new one that I don't recognize, whereas for the most part I just get used to the names, so they're a lot easier to call out. So on tonight's live stream, it's the first time in a really long time that we're not going to be having a pick roulette later on, because we didn't reach the likes goal last week. I think we missed it by about 10, but it was something like 390 or 395, something crazy like that. So the likeometer now resets, and we are going to be attempting tonight to hit a likes goal of 300. So I mean, again, it's a huge total, so we're looking for every single thumbs up that we can get in order to have a pick roulette next week. Hopefully that can happen, but we will see. So if you can leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, it would be massively appreciated. And something else that is massively appreciated is the support from my patrons, because they make this possible in the first place, every single live stream and every video that I do on YouTube. So a big shout out to these people at the bottom of the screen. You know who you are. And let me get organized with everything. At the beginning of the live stream, I always say that you don't have to donate, but if you feel the need to and you want to, then the percentages are on your screen. So between 35 and 45% of the donations through the super chat window goes to YouTube, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through that PayPal link that's in the description below. So just so you know that if you do donate, you know the percentages of what goes where, but you don't have to. Just tuning in to these live streams is great in order for me just to spend a Tuesday night with you guys and a Saturday night with you guys as well, because those are the 2 stream days that we have, and it's just 2 streams a week. Not 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, as we had a little bit of a joke about last time on Saturday night with that live stream. And anyway, I think it was Patrick who left a comment right at the end saying about having the 3 streams. But tonight, I don't know, as always, where the live stream's going to take us, what we're going to be talking about, but we should have a little bit of extra space at the end of the live stream to maybe squeeze in a fill tune or maybe a riff of the week. And I do have, and I'm going to access it on my phone, I do have the riffs that we have done previously on the riff of the weeks. You know, there are 100 of them, and I haven't been keeping a note of them, but I can access the list that Laura has sent me on my phone, so thank you for that, Laura, and I'll be able to look through the numbers and pick one that we haven't had, because yeah, it was photographed by Def Leppard a couple of times recently, but we will have a new one later on, and because we have a little bit more space, I'm sure that we can fit in a riff of the week. So recently, we've had the Moises video, which has been out there, and thank you guys for all of the feedback on that app and for going and downloading it and using it. And if you haven't checked out that video yet, make sure that you do, because it's an app that, especially if you're a musician, will really help you out. And more recently, on Sunday, we're now back into the normal analysis videos. So we jumped into another one on Sunday. We're going to be having another one one tomorrow night, Wednesday, and then on Friday night as well. So look out for the analysis videos coming your way. You can still get your eyes on the Steve Stevens videos that we had a week's worth of videos that I released with Steve Stevens on the channel, and we still have that collaboration video with Chris Lipe that I'm going to have to release on the channel once the copyrights are all done with that, but we have part 2 of that coming soon. So there's still a lot coming up on the channel, but as we keep on pushing forward, I'm just going to be working my way through those requests, and we'll see what comes up next. It was, yeah, great to take a little bit of a look at a Doobie Brothers kind of theme. I mean, especially, you guys maybe saw the video on Sunday. A song that I mean, you can go and watch that if you want to, but a song that I listened to quite a lot. I did listen to a lot of Doobie Brothers at university, as I mentioned in that particular video. But yeah, Long Train Running was one of those songs that, yeah, I really enjoyed, especially when learning to play the guitar, hammering on that minor 7th shape. But we will push on with tonight's live stream. Let's not start talking about analysis videos because I'll be here all night. I do want to address the donations that came in before we went live, because those do disappear, unfortunately. So to begin with, we had a donation that came in from Paul, who donated $2. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message was, spike the likes. All Jarl, Orlando's backup guy, so thank you for that, Paul. And Paul is backing up Orlando, but here we've actually got Orlando backing up Paul, because Orlando then donated $2. So thank you for that, Orlando. And the message was, I second that. Spike the likes. Thanks, Paul, with lots of thumbs up. So let me just grab the mug, because we always have a plug of the mug when there's a donation from Orlando and from Paul. So here's a plug of the mug and spike the likes. Great idea there. And let's have a look at the likeometer, see where we are at the moment. 168 likes. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up very early on in the live stream. It means we're looking for another 132 likes. And the good thing about the likes goal being 300 is it makes it a little bit easier for me to work out. You know, as soon as it's like 300 or 305, I mean, 300 is fine. 305 then it gets a little bit too complicated for me, but 300 is fine. And now it's 130 that we're looking for, which is even easier to work out. So if you can hit that thumbs up, it will be much appreciated. Even if you're watching this in the future on catch up, every single thumbs up really does help the live streams to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. So keep on hitting that thumbs up if you haven't already. Right, so if you want any of the merchandise, by the way, such as the mug that I just showed, we have the tray underneath this video, or if you don't have the tray underneath this video, then you can click on the link in the description below, and it's to spring.com. That's where all of the merchandise is. You can also head over to wingsofpegasus.com/merch to get your hands on the Wings of Pegasus pics and the necklaces and Carla's merchandise over there. And if you do have the tray underneath this video, then that will take you through to spring.com, and you can click on any of those items and then you'll end up at the store and you can get your hands on that mug or the other colors of the mugs, the t-shirts. I've got the t-shirt on tonight, obviously, doing a bit of modeling of the merch tonight. There are hoodies there and caps, all of that cool stuff, so you can check that out at your leisure. So I think those are now up to date with the donations, so thank you guys for those in that super chat window. And I know that we have had a little bit of action in PayPal, and I do like to address all of the PayPal donations. So one came through from Michael, and this was for £5, so thank you for that, Michael. And that was on Monday morning, so let me now try to scroll up somewhere. For some reason, the scroll up button has disappeared. So let's click on the inbox of PayPal. And I don't know why. Normally what happens is on the screen, you have the emails and you can go up to the next email without having to come out and then go into the inbox again and then click on the email. But for some reason, that's not working tonight. And I mean, the good thing about tonight is that I do have sound. So I heard that first video that we watched. which is great because it means I can hear it when it's ending and I can make this screen go live again. But it seems like the gremlin for tonight is going to be in the PayPal window. But Tammy also donated £10. We will get through it. Tammy donated £10. So thank you for that. And the message was, "Hi Phil, what is your proudest accomplishment as a musician? Rock." So thank you for that. And I think I've probably answered a question similar to this in the live streams, that I always say that my proudest accomplishment is just doing it full time, because that's something that so many people never get to the point of selling enough of their music to make enough money to make it a full-time career for themselves. And that's something I'm very lucky to be able to say that I have accomplished. So that's my proudest accomplishment, because I mean, so many people that I know, that I've played with in the past, that have been in bands with, they've wanted to do music full-time but never quite made it. And obviously getting later in life, there comes a point where they have to either decide, right, you've got to pay the bills somehow. So do they give up the music in order to then just get a job and put in more hours to that job so that they can afford their mortgage and all that kind of stuff? Or do they just keep going for the music but then potentially have a really difficult time paying bills and all that kind of stuff? So yeah, that is my proudest accomplishment, is to be exactly where I am now, and to be talking with you guys, because I mean, I started on YouTube in, I don't know, 2011, something like that. And I'd say over the last 3 or 4 years is where things have become really, busy and getting a lot of subscribers, and, joining you guys in the live streams and in the chat room and in the comment section of the videos. So yeah, it's basically now is my proudest accomplishment, because I know it's something that very few people get to do. And I think pretty much everybody, especially the younger generation, when they're growing up now, they have this idea that they want to be YouTubers. I think that's probably, or content creators, I guess. But they don't really appreciate, they think that maybe just being on YouTube is something that's really easy to do, and you can just play computer games all day and just film yourself doing it, and then you earn lots of money. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works. I think at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to, and this is regardless of industry, it's going to be always a case of the more work you put in, the more you get out. So, and that can be for music. You can put in loads of work and get nothing out because you've either never got a break, or I mean, the amount of hours that you have to put into music to kind of get somewhere with it is ridiculous. And anybody that knows my story will know that I've mentioned before that on Twitter I've written over 100,000 personal messages to people over the course of kind of 3 or 4 years, every single day, messaging fans of bands like Bon Jovi and Winger, Guns N' Roses, any bands that I thought sounded similar to what I was doing, with a hard rock kind of sound. So I targeted all of the fans of those bands and messaged them asking if they'd check out my music. And that was just a grind for 3 or 4 years. And you might pick up 1 or 2 people a day. You might be luckier than that, maybe get 5 or 10 people a day, depending on how many messages you can write. But it means that if you're collecting people and making people, potentially fans of your music every day, it means that after a week you might have 2 people a day, you've got 14 new fans. So it means that over a couple of weeks you've now got 28 new fans, and it's just literally a case of building that up until you get into the hundreds, and then maybe get into the thousands, and eventually after 3 or 4 years you might then have a bit of a following online. And this goes hand in hand with getting out there and going into London like I did, getting the early morning train about 6 in the morning to catch the DJs when they do their morning shows, try and get my music to them. But unfortunately, that was something that literally was never going to happen. And I was very lucky that one of the DJs, who's very well known, kind of explained the situation to me, that they, even if they really love a band, and he really liked my CD, he said that he's not allowed to play it because they have an agreement with the record labels to play particular songs. So you can't just play somebody's song who hasn't paid to be on the radio. So yeah, it's very much a closed shop getting any radio airplay unless you go onto the unsigned shows. And I've mentioned this before as well, that even the guy who does the unsigned shows, even though I was referenced by another DJ, they said, oh, go and tell them that I sent you. He then refused to see me or let me into the radio station. So that was great. So and that's the unsigned path that I was going down. It's not even signed bands. So there's not even the excuse that, oh, I can't play your music because you haven't paid to get airtime. It's just a case that he didn't want to even listen to it in the first place. So yeah, that's why I just went in my own direction and thought, right, I'm just going to do it all myself, message people independently, even if it takes me 10 years, I'll see how I get on. And fortunately for me, it has worked out. So yeah, this is my proudest accomplishment. So thank you for that, Tammy. I don't want to get into my whole life story, but yeah, it's very much the case that the more work you put in, the more you get out of it. And especially with music nowadays, it is so competitive. So if you're working, like I used to, teach on a Sunday for about 12 or 13 hours, but then I'd still come home and try and do as much, promotion and marketing as I could do. And then during the week, I'd be rehearsing with the band. We'd go out gigging, on a Friday night and a Saturday night, which meant then me getting up for work again to do a day's worth of teaching the next day. So it's just kind of spending all the available time you can. I think that my mental approach was that if I was being lazy or not focusing on doing something proactively, I have this idea in my mind that somebody else is. They are working harder than I'm working. So I'd make sure that I'm working as hard as humanly possible so that if a break came my way, then I could, just make the most of it. But even if a break doesn't come my way, if I'm working hard enough, I'm making my own breaks. And I think that's pretty much what's happened up until now, that I've never had a break that somebody's come along and said, right, you're unknown. Do you want me to, announce you on the world scene so that you get, tens of thousands of subscribers in a day, or, get national exposure for your music? That's not something that's ever happened. So yeah, it's just a case of working hard. But I think it makes it so much more appreciated once you do get to where you want to be, because you know how many hours it's taken to get to that point, rather than just having success overnight and you don't really feel like you've earned anything, and you haven't been through the hard times, so it doesn't make the good times sweeter, which I think is something that happens. The good times are definitely sweeter and appreciated a lot more because you know what it's like to not have those times. But anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. Right, I am just going to, it might not be the case that I can show these on screen tonight on the PayPal donations, because I don't have the ability to flick between the emails like I normally do. So I don't know why Outlook has now got rid of that function. It's always something that tends to happen. They update their email browser, but they update it, making it worse. I don't know why they do that. But anyway, we will keep on going. Sue has donated £15. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, we'll have to catch up on the catch-up crew. So Sue will be in the house later on. Thank you for that donation. That actually came in at 15 minutes to midnight, I believe. So thank you for that, Sue. And let me go back to the inbox and then go back in and see that Paul has donated £5. So thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, when you wear your t-shirt with the dinosaur skeleton on it, that makes me think wings of Pegasus. So thank you for that, Paul. And it took me a little bit of time to actually work out what that was going to say, and pronounce it correctly. So we have a Pegasaurus. That'd be, imagine a dinosaur that was actually a dinosaur with wings. I guess maybe that's what a Pegasaurus would be. So, but then again, a Pegasus is a horse with wings. So what's a dinosaur with wings called? Maybe we can just steal a bit of it, along that same line, in the same kind of theme. But thank you for that, Paul. And yes, that's my Jurassic Park shirt, of course, that you guys will know very well. But I am a big fan of the Jurassic Park movie series. I should say the franchise, is that the best way to describe it? I don't know. The movies, I like them. So thank you for that, Paul. Right, it's just going to take me a little bit of time to go from one to the next, but Maria has donated £1.56. So thank you for that, Maria. And the message is, hi Phil, I just couldn't stop myself. Laugh out loud, spike those likes. So thank you for that, Maria. Great idea. Hit that thumbs up if you do get a chance. And Vince says in the live chat room, a dinosaur with wings would be a dragon. So thank you for that, Vince. And I guess that's technically correct, but dragons are mythical, whereas dinosaurs were real things. So, and I know that obviously a Pegasus is mythical as well, but a horse is a real thing. So where do we draw the line of what a dinosaur with wings would be called? Because dinosaurs were real. So it's not an entirely mythical creature. And horses are real, but then a Pegasus is a mythical creature. So yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. Something that we can discuss in the live chat room tonight is a dinosaur with wings. How mythical would that be, considering that dinosaurs did exist? And how mythical is a Pegasus, considering that horses exist? So that's something for you guys to debate in the live chat room. I always say we don't know what we're going to be talking about on these live streams, but tonight it is mythical creatures and dinosaurs. So thank you for that, Maria, by the way, for the donation. I'm just going to go back to the PayPal window because Lauren donated £25 as well. Thank you for that, Lauren. And Lauren said spike the likes with a thumbs up. So again, great idea. 238 likes so far. We'll have we'll keep an eye on that because we are aiming for 300 likes tonight to have a pick roulette next week. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be able to get to that total. Right, let's jump back into the PayPal window because I can see that a couple more have come in, and it's Carla that has donated £10, and Carla says, I have nothing to say, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Carla. Huge shout out to the moderators, and I can just see Carla's name going through. I didn't see what it said in the live chat room, but it looked like maybe a dinosaur name. But anyway, Carla, thank you for that. Yeah, huge shout out to the moderators tonight for doing such a fantastic job. You'll see Carla in there. They have a wrench next to their names and they are in blue. So you'll see Susan and Dennis in there as well, and Neil and Laurie moderating, doing such a fantastic job. So thank you guys for dedicating your time to these live streams on a Tuesday night and a Saturday night, and all you guys just for tuning in and making it such a great place to be. Let me give a quick shout out to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. If you are a Facebook user, you can join in over there and join that group. That's where all of these lovely people in the live chat room hang out between live streams, and Vince hosts the after party. And after the last live stream, there was a Zoom call, so you can get involved with that as well if you're that way inclined over on Facebook. So head over there if you do get a chance. Right, we have one more PayPal donation that has come in. So it is Lucy who has donated £26.40. Thank you for that, Lucy. And the message is, howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers. Congratulations on 264,000 subscribers. Still hoping for Wingerfest, Phil's Festival, Wingerstock, Guffest, or whatever it might be. Spike the likes, y'all. So thank you for that, Lucy. And that had the rock horns, the heart and peace, of course. And yes, maybe that'll happen in the future at some point. Whatever we decide to call it, it might be able to happen in the future in some capacity somewhere in the world. We'll all get together for, I would like to call it Guffest, just because of the Phil tunes that we have, the real life stories. It'll just be an interesting full circle event where you've gone to something that was absolutely rubbish, where nobody turned up, and turned it into, obviously it wasn't called Guffest, but then turning that whole scenario into something that it actually is attended in some way, shape or form. So that would be good. But anyway, Lucy, thank you for that. And I am going to jump into the Super Chat window donations because I can see that there have been some donations in there. Kathy donated $5, so thank you for that, Kathy. And the message is, great accomplishment, Phil. There are so many great musicians who struggle to make it, so thank you for that, Kathy. And oh, by the way, let me just draw your attention to the vote tonight, talking about different songs that we have going on, and great musicians. We have a layer on the line which you can vote for, and you can see, or I can see, that that's 56% at the moment, so that one's in the lead. And we have the Dokken track of In My Dreams. I think we played that maybe a couple of weeks ago, I can't remember, but yeah, that's the other song that you can vote for to watch tonight as the cover video. So yeah, we have a little bit of Triumph, of course, talking about great musicians. We have Triumph in there and Dokken. So that is you can vote for that, but that is the comparison tonight between Triumph and Dokken. Just vote for what you want. At the moment, it is Triumph who are in the lead, and it's going to be my version of that particular song. So 56% of the vote is with Lay It on the Line. Right, back to Kathy's donation, $5. Thank you for that. And we did read that one out. Paul has donated again underneath that, saying thank you, moderators, and that was a donation of $2. Thank you for that, Paul. And I think that's a picture of an eye, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, it'd be difficult to tell what that is. But anyway, thank you for that, Paul. I'm sure it's an eye. It's really small on my screen, so sometimes seeing the pictures, I can't really make them out too well, especially if they're dark, because I've got a dark background here. But thank you for that, Paul. Orlando went straight in there with $5 as well, backing up Paul. Again, thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, how many years did it take for you to be able to make a living with music? Were you a starving artist for a time? So thank you for that, Orlando. And I mean, technically, when I was teaching guitar, I started teaching guitar at age 23, and I did that for over 15 years. So that makes me kind of 37. So I'd say in the last, I still did teach when I started earning money from selling my album and downloads, and then making money from royalties on YouTube from where my songs are being used. And this is the other thing, that the great thing about owning your own publishing is that when somebody uses your songs on YouTube, you get the royalties. So, it's the same case for the analysis videos that I do. The songs that I'm featuring, the owners of those songs, the copyright holders, they have a royalty that they get from the adverts that are placed on the video, because it's just something that is automatically placed on my videos because I don't own the music. The publishing companies, the owners, put adverts on the videos and they take the money from that. It's the ad revenue is what it's called. So it means that when you own your own publishing, as I do, if I play my own songs on my own channel, it counts as the same thing. So I will be, for every live stream, I earn a royalty for myself, because it's like I'm featuring myself. And if I was signed to a major label, it means that Sony, for example, would be taking that royalty from me playing the song on my live stream. So they would then say, oh, Phil, we've got this money from the ads on YouTube, so here's 5% maybe of that total that you can now have, because we're the record label and we're going to keep 95% of it. Whereas when you do everything yourself, it means that 100% of the ad revenue for my own songs that I play on my own channel come to me. So this is why I always say that just own your publishing and don't sign a record deal unless you know exactly what it is that you hire a lawyer, or somebody who's a lawyer and can read through the contract and make sure that you're earning what you deserve. Because the alternative is to not sign a record deal and own your publishing. And if you work hard enough to the point where at some point you get an audience, you can start making money on your own music by just putting it on your own YouTube channel, which is exactly what I do on these live streams. So the ads on the live streams get split between the owners of the cover songs that I feature. So tonight is either going to be Dockham or Triumph and then Wings of Pegasus. So it's obviously we've got the vote going on at the moment, so it's only going to be one of those copyright owners that are going to be taking that royalty, but they're splitting it with Wings of Pegasus. So this is the important thing, that if you own your publishing, then you can actively earn money for yourselves. Obviously, you can make more money just by plugging your music all the time. You know, if I wanted to do that, then I could, but I think I want to keep a balance of making the channel, you know, interesting from a musical perspective with analysis videos. I don't mind featuring other artists and other bands and making money for them, because I'm getting the teaching element out there. So I'm getting that side of it. That's what I feel satisfied doing. I enjoy teaching people about music. So that's just something I don't mind at all. That, yeah, all of the videos, pretty much 99% of them get copyright claimed, but I can still release them. It's just that I don't make any money from them. But when I'm doing a live stream, of course, I can play one of my own songs, and therefore I will get a split of the ad revenue with whatever cover I have played. Because when you play a cover on YouTube, it's still the same as if you featured the actual song. So the copyright owner takes the ad revenue for your cover video. But again, I don't mind that. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm an independent artist myself, so I know that, yeah, if my songs get featured, then I would get the ad revenue, and I don't have a problem with, yeah, giving it away to other people, because, you know, it's their song after all. So anyway, let me just try and get everything organized on the screen, because there have been more donations, so I have to scroll up. But thank you for that, Orlando. So I guess it would probably be about 15 years, roughly, I would say, is how long it took me to make a living from music. So yeah, before that, yeah, I didn't earn enough money to, I mean, especially here in the UK, you know, getting a house and even getting a flat, if you're anywhere near London, you can forget it unless you're earning ridiculous money. So yeah, for a very long time, it was a case of just, you know, living at home and just saving as much money as possible and just paying your parents' rent. And I think that's something that a lot of people fall into the category of, especially the younger generation. Just getting a place to live, full stop, is very difficult here in the UK, because the house prices are crazy, but also just renting is crazy prices as well. So yeah, I would say 15 years it took me. So yeah, it is a lot of work, but I think when you've got the drive to do something and you've really got your eyes focused on that as your goal, then you will make it. It's just having the faith to do it. And I know that I say a lot of the time that a lot of people give up just before they were about to get to where they wanted to be. So I always had that mindset that I wasn't going to give up, because yeah, imagine spending 14 years on it, giving up, but then you didn't realize that the next year you were going to be able to do music for, yeah, potentially for the rest of your life. And I think that that is very much worth the sacrifice. So that's just how I viewed it. But anyway, thank you for that, Orlando. And Daniel has donated $10 as well. So thank you for that, Daniel. Here we go. Pterodactyl is the common term for the winged reptiles, properly called pterosaurs. I'm assuming that that's a silent P at the beginning of it. If it isn't a silent P, then I don't know how to say that. But thank you for that, Daniel. We're getting a little bit of dinosaur knowledge going on tonight. So we're all learning something about dinosaurs, which is great. Thank you for that, Daniel. And we have Stardust Unicorn, and we have another mythical creature in the house tonight, and this is, of course, the support band to Wings of Pegasus. So thank you for that. Donation of $7.99. And just scrolling down, because Nancy has donated £5. Thank you for that, Nancy. And the message is, new to channel, just wondering if you play any instruments others than the guitar. So thank you for that, Nancy. And I mean, guitar's my main instrument. I then learned to sing. So I would very much say I'm a guitarist who sings, or who tries to sing, tries to play drums, tries to play bass, tries to play keys. So yeah, I do play other instruments. And generally for the cover videos, you might see me playing other instruments, but because of the amount of time it took to set up everything, with playing bass and guitar and then recording my vocals, recording the backing vocals from different angles, all with one camera, I tended not to set up the drums because it just took too long. And by that time, I just wanted to get into the video editing because I do everything myself. So yeah, there might be a couple of videos out there with me playing drums, but yeah, for the most part, it will just be guitar, bass, keys and vocals. So you'll be able to see that in the cover videos. Let me think of what I was playing. I think on the covers that we're going to be looking at tonight, potentially later on the line was, I'm just trying to think, it's probably just guitar and bass maybe you can see me playing, and probably the same for In My Dreams because they're guitar based tracks. I pretty much tend to edit videos as well from a guitarist's perspective. So if there's a guitar solo, I'll always have the close up of the neck of the guitar and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure if I played the other instruments, I'd probably edit it differently to maybe look more bass, for example. But yeah, that's just something that is the way that I just prefer to look at guitar a lot. Anyway, thank you for that, Nancy. And Stan has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, hello, Phil, and everyone can't stay, but we'll be back on Saturday. So thank you for that, Stan. We will see you on Saturday night, by the way. 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, always the same time or I should say British summertime, 12 midnight, always the same time for the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday. And you can work out your time, just type in time in London, England, and it will tell you the time, and then you can work out how many hours you are either in front or behind me to join me live. This is the other thing, that if you comment on this video when it's being played in the future, I won't see your comment. I'll only see your comment if it's going through at the moment. For example, Orlando's going through there, and Billy and Paul and Bev's about to go through there as well, and Brian underneath that, and DCMC, who is about to say goal. So we have reached the likes goal already. Thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up, but we won't stop there. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, it would be much appreciated if we can keep this likeometer rolling over. But it means that we are going to have a pick roulette later on, and I'm going to be opening the entries for that a little bit later on. Wait until I say that the entries are open, because we're going to be doing that a little bit later on tonight. So keep an eye out for that. It's always going to be after the cover video, so we'll keep an eye on that percentage, and then I'll let you know when the entries for next week's pick roulette are going to be open. They're not open yet, so don't type anything. Right, back into that super chat window. And yes, Stan, we'll see you on Saturday. But Lisa A has donated $10. Thank you for that, Lisa A. And the message is, hi Phil, who figures out what the likes are each live stream? Also, how does one become a moderator? Thank you, you're awesome. So thank you for the kind words, Lisa A. So first of all, the likes figures are determined by Carla, who does the pick roulettes as well, sorts all those out. So she's in charge of that, and then she just lets me know before every live stream what the target is. And moderators, yes, those are just chosen as and when. At the moment we have 4 moderators, and if it gets to a point where we need more moderators, then they'll tell me, and then I'll find another moderator, or there'll be somebody who will say, oh yes, I'd like to do it, or I'm available to do it. And it's very much the case of having a good internet connection and being available on a Tuesday and a Saturday night in order to do it. And obviously sometimes you can't always make it, but it's just a case of if it becomes too much for the amount of moderators that we have so far. But I think at the moment, everything seems to be fine. I mean, we are at 264,000 subscribers, which is crazy. But if things do get a little bit too busy during the live streams, then that's when I'll look at adding any more moderators. But thank you for that, Lisa A. And Daniel has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Daniel. And the message is, how did you learn vocals so well? You pitch and control is awesome. So thank you for that. And I mean, there's no secret to it really. It's just practice. So to begin with, I mean, the first thing that I focused on was pitch. So I think probably I'm quite accurate pitch-wise because first of all, by playing guitar, I think listening to songs and working things out by ear, you start to get attuned to tuning and notes. So it means that when I was singing and I recorded myself and listened to it back, I could tell if I was sharp or if I was flat because I was used to hearing my guitar either being sharp or flat, and being able to then tune my guitar by ear, it meant that I could tune my voice by ear, so I could tell whether I was hitting the notes or not. So I spent a long time on pitch, and I mean probably about a year of that, and I practiced 6 days a week, you know, pretty much. Sometimes it might be 5 nights a week, but 6 days a week for at least an hour, and I would just be singing scales. And because I couldn't hit the pitches to begin with, once I had my start pitch, I would then try and take my voice through going and try and get the notes as accurately as possible so that it didn't sound like me going like that, where you can't hear the definite jumps. So it's kind of getting those steps into going and getting your vocal cords to snap to those positions, and then going and eventually when you do the exercises so much, you can start to do that, which is go up in semitones. So you go up semitone by semitone and you're just singing that octave scale just up and down. So that's how I started. I spent a lot of time on it, so there's no secret to learning to sing. Even if you learn to sing like I did from scratch, you just got to spend a lot of time doing it, and the more time you spend doing it, the more your muscle memory remembers those steps going and you can start to do that more than sounding like you don't really know where those notes are. Your muscle memory will start snapping to the notes, and it might be the case that you do slide where you go and you might want to go up an octave, and again you're finding that point, and it's just repetition, so that sometimes you'll go up and you'll be a little bit too sharp, and then sometimes you'll go up and you'll be a little bit flat. You just got to teach those vocal cords where to go, and the muscle memory will remember how far to snap to, or how much to zip up vocal cord wise, because the vocal cords are basically zipping up when they go higher up. So it's just a case of practice. And in terms of how I approached it to begin with, I got DVDs because the internet didn't really exist at the level it does now, where you can just type it into YouTube and get all the answers. So yeah, I had DVDs that I watched. Then I had Singing Success, which is another thing that I tried, but I didn't do particularly well with that. And that was something again that I ordered that got sent across. I think you could watch it on the internet, but I got sent across like the whole pack with DVDs and CDs. Then I did maybe Singing with Freedom, another singing course. I'm so used to saying guitar, but a singing course I did. And I'm trying to think what else I did. Then I looked at Ken Tamplin. I got one of his courses. But again, every course that I've done or tried, it hasn't really worked out for me. There's always been an exercise that I haven't been able to do that it's taken for granted that you can do with your voice. So I think I just learned to sing the way that my own voice works, knowing that other people, I mean obviously people that are doing the courses, they say, and then just, what we're going to do now is we're going to release into your head voice and we're going to just go up an octave and back down. But then I found that I couldn't release into my head voice. So what do you do at this part of the literally at this part of the course, what do you do if your voice doesn't work the same as the guy who's instructing you and he's telling you exactly what to focus on, but it still doesn't want to do it? That's the problem that I had. I've got a very stubborn voice and just some things I can't do. So at that point, I just watch lots of other YouTube videos, lots of other singing teachers, just find out what I can get from them. Chris Lipe is another guy whose videos that I have watched for about 3 or 4 years. And yeah, just picking things up from him. But I think, yeah, I have one of those voices that is very stubborn, and in order for me to get better at singing, it takes a hell of a lot of practice. And I know that I have to keep on practicing just to keep the muscle memory of being able to sing on pitch. So yeah, it's just practice. But I mean, I could talk about it for years, as you guys can probably tell, but thank you for that, Daniel, for the kind words about my voice as well. And having said that, we are going to be jumping into one of my covers where it is me attempting to use my voice, and it's looking like it might be Lay It on the Line. And I mean, that is, one of those songs that is a hell of a challenge vocally, just because of the range that is covered in Lay It on the Line. And it looks like 55% of the vote was in favour of Lay It on the Line. So we are going to be having a listen to my version of that for tonight. So let's jump into this. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys after. Rock. And there we have it. That was my attempt at Lay It on the Line by Triumph. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And yeah, definitely is a test of anybody's range, like regardless of where you place that song. It is always going to be huge, getting from the low notes in the beginning of the verse, then into the chorus and the backing vocals as well. Yeah, very challenging. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I am just quickly going to jump into the PayPal window. I think we're up to date with the Super Chat window, so thank you guys for those donations. But over in the PayPal window, I think we have had a little bit more action in there. So let me jump into this. It is Carla who has donated £5.95. So thank you for that. And that's the Carla with a K. And let me move into another one. It's Lisa A who's donated £7.81. So thank you for that, Lisa A, who's also donated in that super chat window, but going from window to window. Right, let me see. There's another couple that have come in. Suzanne has donated £6.63. So thank you for that, Suzanne. And the message is, hey Phil, what would be the difference between a live stream concert and a virtual concert if such a thing like that exists? Thanks, Phil. So thank you for that, Suzanne. And I mean, it depends, because there's a couple of ways to look at this. A live stream concert is exactly what it sounds like. So you're tuning in to a live stream like this, but you're watching a performance, and it might mean that you have multiple cameras set up, and you might have, you know, a smoke machine going, all that kind of stuff. That's something that I did on the live stream gig that I did years ago now, but that was all set up again by me, so you have to try and guess as to what the mix is going to sound like in other people's computers, which is very difficult. But just a live stream concert, that's it. You're just watching it live. Or it could be pre-recorded and then put out live. That's something that I've seen happen before. People playing live footage of concerts that have already happened, but doing it across a live stream. A virtual concert. Now this is where a lot of people might refer to a live stream concert as a virtual concert, that you're watching it on a screen. But what I would consider more of a virtual concert is actually doing it in VR, virtual reality, where you put on a headset and you're given at least a 180-degree view of the gig. And what happens there is you can set up a camera that has either 180 degrees field of view or 360. So 360 means that it records everything, and you would just literally place that in front of the band so that you can see the band in virtual reality. So it's like they're standing there. You are now in that space. So it's like you're standing where the camera is. And the thing is about that with virtual reality, that if you've got, not a very good connection, it's going to look really bad, because the bigger the image is, the more pixels you require for it to still be clear to the eye. So when you're watching a TV screen, for example, if you're watching HD, that's just the sign of the size of the screen. If you have a 4K TV or monitor, that's 4K on the size of the screen. Whereas when you imagine, or try to imagine, you making your screen as big as the world around you, like everything that you can see 180 degrees, which is in front of you. Imagine being able to look around that, and that is the size of the screen. The screen doesn't end. So it means that the pixels are now getting stretched across that amount of space, which means the quality starts to look worse, because when you stretch a pixel, it gets bigger. So it's like, imagine like on these crime shows where they have like a suspect and his face is, pixelated, it's squares. That's what stuff starts to look like when you make it bigger. It loses the clarity. So the only thing that you'd have to make sure is that you've got at least a kind of 4K or 5K or 6K quality picture in order to have, a decent view of this particular gig. So that's what I would, class as a virtual concert is everybody's tuning in and they're now assuming the position that the camera's in, and they can see everything in 3D. So it's like you are there, you are standing in that position where the camera is. So that's what I would consider a virtual concert, which is, yeah, very cool. I mean, technology is moving along at a crazy rate. The only problem with that is that it might be the case that it's just the band playing and there's no atmosphere there. You know, it's not like actually being there because there's no crowd there. It's just a camera, and then you might have 300 or 400 people or thousands of people all seeing it from that one camera's point of view. And you might be able to change from cameras from side to side, but then you might struggle with motion sickness if you're suddenly moving from one camera to the next. So yeah, it's a complicated business. You know, we're talking about doing a gig in virtual reality, but nevertheless it'd be very cool to do that. I mean, you've got the other case where I think ABBA are set up a show where the virtual part of it isn't the audience turn up, but the virtual part is the band. So they have like holograms on stage, so it looks like they are actually on screen and like younger versions of themselves on stage, but like holograms. So that's a virtual gig the other way around. So it's not the audience that are virtual, it's the actual band. So yeah, lots of different ways of working. Obviously, I mean, it's something that I do find interesting, you know, virtual reality, and, you know, I need to know a lot about kind of pixels and things for video editing and HD and full HD and 4K. And, you know, yeah, you can get 5K and 6K once you start getting into virtual reality, and yeah, the Meta Quest headsets, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, cool stuff. I am kind of into technology and gaming and all those kinds of things, so I do find it very interesting. But anyway, interestingly, I've just had something pop up on the screen that says, now would be a good time to insert ads. Creators earn more money inserting ads. The more viewers are watching. Give it a try. So this is YouTube wanting me to now put an advert on so that I could earn more money. So this is something I was approached about from YouTube, saying that you get I can't remember what it is, but somebody who helps with your channel, but all they help with is putting more adverts on your channel. They go through all your videos trying to find more spaces to put adverts in. Whereas I said to them that I wasn't really into putting more adverts into my videos because I like them to not, you know, be interrupted kind of 4 or 5 times, you know, every 5 minutes. And that's something that I'm not going to start doing on the live streams. I think there are actually enough adverts already on the live streams because I do a cover, so it means that the owner of that, you know, that particular song that I'm performing gets the option to put more adverts on the streams if they want to. So sometimes there will be more adverts in the live streams. So I think there are already enough adverts, and when I'm watching a live stream, I want to actually watch the live stream. I don't want to watch lots of adverts. So I'm going to remove that, and I don't want that option. So thank you, YouTube, for, you know, putting that up there and kind of confusing me a little bit. But yeah, I think for the future, I won't be putting adverts live on the live streams, even though I'm sure that other people do. But that's, you know, that's their own choice. Everybody, you know, each to their own and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, thank you for that, Suzanne, that donation. And I'm just going to pop into that PayPal window again because there has been one more that's come in from Paolo, who has donated £8.26. So thank you for that, Paolo. Right. We are going to... Orlando's just donated $2 in the super chat window. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, how do you make the drum tracks for your covers? So thank you for that. And I have you can see in the background of the other videos, I have a MIDI drum kit, and that's just a Roland kit that has the ability to go through MIDI into my Scarlett interface, which has MIDI inputs on there. So it means that the drums can be performed but triggering sounds within Logic Pro 10. So the drums, effectively, you can play them fully live. It just depends, you know, how much time I've got, whether I want to go for more of a groove on a particular song, whether I just want to keep it straight. And you know, the great thing about MIDI, the great thing about it and the bad thing about it is that you can quantize it. And I think this is something that happens a lot, is that bands in the studio and a lot of people by default will quantize their drums. And that's something that I didn't want to do. I mean, on the covers, sometimes if I'm racing against time, which generally I always am, I will move things around a little bit. If I want a snare, and this is that you can literally drag a snare. So if you think, right, I want that snare a little bit later or a little bit earlier, you can just bring it in wherever you want to. But with my album, I didn't want to do that. And I got my drummer from my band to do the drums on the album and just to play naturally, so that it's got more of a natural sound to it rather than quantizing the drums all the time. So that's something that, yeah, I went for that kind of thing with the album. But with the drums, generally when you're working with MIDI, it's going to be a lot easier just to edit things and piece things together how you want to. But generally it would be, yeah, connecting the drums to the computer via MIDI. Anyone who's done that will know how it works, so that once you've recorded your drums, you've effectively got a whole track worth of MIDI hit points. And then you just select which drum kit you want on Logic Pro 10 to be the trigger drum kit. So every time you hit a foot pedal, it will now trigger the foot pedal in the software. And yeah, the same for the whole kit. So that's generally how it's done, and that's how I do it. But thank you for that, Orlando. And I think we are pretty much up to date now. So what I'm going to do is open the entries for next week's Pick Roulette. So everybody in that live chat room, now is the time to type I agree and tag Carla's name. I'm going to do that now at Carla. Let me actually try and type it properly. Carla Murray. And then I'm going to type I agree and hit an exclamation mark. So you'll be able to see my comment go through the live chat room soon, and it's Carla Murray that I'm tagging in that particular comment, and I've just typed I agree. So just have a little look in the live chat room, and this is to get your name on next week's Pick Roulette wheel, because we have reached the likes goal tonight of 300. So as Carla's saying there, post I agree, Carla Murray to enter next Tuesday's roulette wheel. So everybody do that now. If this is your first live stream and you're not sure what's going on, just copy what everybody else is doing in the live chat room. And then if you tune in next week, your name will be on the Pick Roulette wheel. And if we land on your name, then you will be going away with a signed Wings of Pegasus pick. And you could be going away with a custom-made Wings of Pegasus signed t-shirt if we land on the t-shirt segment of the Pick Roulette wheel. Right, just having a little look into that live chat room. It is all kicking off in there now. Everybody keep on typing I agree if you want to be in the Pick Roulette next week. Right, we are maybe going to be jumping into, let's see, I'm just trying to think how much time we've got. It was 8 minutes past 1 in the morning here already. So we've got 6 or 7 minutes. Maybe if we have a fill tune potentially, and then maybe a riff of the week to finish off the live stream. We will see. And we've pretty much got a fill tune. Just anyone... People are just saying fill tune. And a fill tune. There's Anna as well. So we'll jump into a fill tune, and it's just going to be a random one because people have just said pick anyone you want. So we'll go for maybe the Italian. We'll jump into the Italian real life story, and I'll see you guys after this. Make sure you keep on entering in to that live chat room. Type I agree to get your name on that Pick Roulette wheel and tag Carla Murray. And only do it once, please. I'll see you guys after this. Rock.
That sounds absolutely excellent. We'll get the next train down and meet you at the Fox.
What the heck was that all about?
That was the excellent Italian drummer we were hoping to hear from. He loves our songs and can't wait to meet he's really keen. We're going to London tonight to meet at the Intrepid Fox. We'll get the train. He said he definitely wants the drummer position in the band.
Ruddy heck, that is awesome. Finally, someone keen enough to meet and get things rolling.
I am amazed at how empty this carriage is. It must be a lucky day.
Yes, this is very rare. Normally I would not know where to look and have somebody sneezing and coughing in my face.
Not to mention, of course, the regulation bum guff released into the airtight carriage, making breathing impossible. I'm actually really looking forward to tonight. I think this guy could be the guy we need. From what I've heard, he really wants to be in the band.
Finally, it seems our luck is changing.
I definitely think this was a fantastic use of my last £15 of the month. I don't mind being skinned if it means we have a decent drummer.
Yes, I'm certain he will appreciate us spending £15 each and taking this 2-hour train journey to meet with him.
Precisely. Imagine if this was all for nothing. Ha ha ha. That would be so funny. I would probably guff my own bum.
Ha ha ha, yes indeed. From what he has said, there is no way this could ever end in a clap to the face.
We must be nearly there, as the people are starting to stare at us less and also the women are becoming more attractive.
Yes, you are correct. Here we are. Remember to try to avoid eye contact with the busker just in case. Here we are. I am so excited. I've been waiting for this day all my life, in a way.
I suggest you keep talk like that to a minimum around here. You sound like a hormone sensual, not a metal rock death voodoo punk of death. Let's go inside. Wowzers. Heck, this place looks a lot more realistic on the outside.
Hey there guys, you are looking for me. I think I want to say, are you Phil?
Yes, I am. I recognize that Italian accent. You must be Alessandro.
That is not an Italian accent.
Shut your guff trap, you're breaking the illusion. Right, let's get a proverbial beverage and talk band business.
Sounds good to me.
Well guys, we certainly are having a great luck. And getting on like fantastic chums. I like the vibe we are producing with our verbal interactions.
Can I just say guys, you are amazing. And I would love to join the band. I'm in this for the big time. Whatever it takes.
It's only been 10 minutes, but I think we all want to move in the same direction and get this show on the road.
We've been searching so long, but finally it has paid off. I think there are some great times ahead.
Oh, do shut up. I'm seriously starting to worry about you. Now, let's talk business. Shall we get a rehearsal booked for say 2 weeks' time?
Well, in 2 weeks I'm heading back to Italy. So, that is not too good for me.
Absolutely no problem. When are you back from Italy? We'll organize it for that week.
Yes, the problem is I'm not sure I'm coming back to England.
Ha ha ha. I hope to heck that you are pulling on my proverbials.
No, I'm serious. It is unlikely I'll be coming back.
Heck. Are you actually demented in the head? How the absolute guff are you going to gig with us when you are in a different country?
Oh yes, I can see that will be a problem. I hope I haven't wasted your time.
Oh no, not at all. We love to travel for 2 hours on the train, spending our money on train tickets and a beer for you, just for you to frig us in the guff, right? Well, we are going to leave now for the 2-hour journey back home. I sincerely do hope you get home safely to your flat just around the corner. Come on, let's get the guffing heck out of this vicinity before I lose my temper and tell him to frigging naff off back to Italy.
It's lucky it's all on film, or else nobody would ever believe this actually happened. Unbelievable.
What an absolute waste of time and money. To top it all, I had to spend my last 30 pence at the Paddington toilets. What a rip-off. I can't believe he spun me. That guff about wanting to make it big with us. This is the worst day of my life.
it. Thank you guys for requesting another real life story over on Patreon. And if you want to get involved yourselves, head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. That's where all of the requests come through for the live stream, the 2 potential cover videos that we watch, the song that we start with, if there are any filled tunes that people want to watch. And it is the foundation of the channel and everything that I do, as I always say on these live streams. So a massive thank you to you guys. You'll get your name on the bottom of the live streams as well. All of these people at the bottom of the screen are my patrons, so head over there. I keep everybody up to date on Patreon as well. Even when I'm having the admin days, which are on a Monday and a Thursday, I still do an update on Patreon to let everybody know what I'm up to and, you know, what's happening and what's to happen in the future on the channel. So anyway, that is it. Patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, and you can message me directly there as well. Right, let me jump into, I'll tell you what, we're 16 minutes past 1 here in the morning. By the way, you can keep on hitting that thumbs up. It really does help this live stream to get out there a little bit more and for the channel to grow on the whole. But let's jump into the riff of the week, maybe, because hopefully it'll only take a few minutes. And I'm going to be looking into that live chat room to see any numbers between 1 and 100. If you guys can suggest any number, just type it in and we will pick a riff of the week to have a quick look at. Right, let me just get that organized on the screen. And I'm just going to look at my phone because Laura has sent me the riffs that we have done recently. So I want to make sure that when I pick a number, it's not on the list that we've already done. So let's have a little look. We've got some numbers coming through now. Orlando starts with 1 and Laura Lee starts with 1 as well. Vince has said 100, but we've had 100, I do believe. Let me have a little look on my list. So thank you, Laura, for doing this and sending this over to me. Yes, we have had 100 on the live stream. So we have had, obviously, 100 riffs is a lot of riffs. So there are a lot that we haven't had. Let's have a look. Going through, we have Marge says 33, Chris says 66, Lisa says 83, maybe 83. Let's have a little look. We haven't had 80. Start it up again. So I'm not sure. I'm just going to be waiting to see if it goes live again. I've just reset the connection because I think we were buffering, and it might have been the case that you didn't even see the riff because I got it on screen here. So let me get rid of that and let me rewind it because I think we were maybe loading when the actual riff happened. So I'm going to take it back and I think we're live again now. So we went for number 83 and it looks like it might have been buffering for some people and wasn't buffering for others because Carla has a correct guess of the riff, so this might just be really unlucky for some people. Lisa said Wheel in the Sky. Let me scroll up. I'm trying to see. Yeah, we're getting messages of buffering. I don't know if anybody was able to hear the riff. So anyway, I'm going to keep on going up. Right, I think I'm going to have to give this to Carla because that's the first one that I saw. And yeah, it just looks like it was buffering for people. Right, I tell you what. So yeah, Carla is going to be the winner for that riff. Yeah, Carla says do another. So we will do another, but I'll play this one just so people can hear it. This is, a Gary Moore song. Like I said, I know this inside out, but yes, Carla did get it correct. So let's have a listen. And this time you didn't see it on screen because I didn't show the picture, but it doesn't matter. Let's move on to another one, and I'm going to have a random scroll up, and whatever number I land on, 54. Let's see if we've had 54. No, we haven't. Right, so we're going for Riff of the Week 54. Riff of the Week 54. Enter. Oh, what's happened? Oh, it's actually, yeah, I typed it into YouTube rather than my list of videos. So I'm gonna have to watch this advert for you guys, so that you guys don't have to watch this advert. And we'll let it play through. It's a 15-second advert that I can't actually skip, so that's a bit of a pain. Right, it's actually for Pedigree Dentistics. So I haven't got a dog, so that is unfortunately totally wasted on me, that particular advert. But let's get this up on screen, and let me now stop that. It started auto playing. Let me get it on screen so you guys can see it. Here we go. This is, hopefully now, we're not buffering, we're not loading, we are live. Have a listen to this riff and we'll see what it is. First guess wins. Name that riff, ladies and gentlemen. And we had a riff by this same artist maybe a couple of live streams ago, maybe a few live streams ago. So everybody have a guess in that live chat room. I'm going to try and get up to date with the live chat room. Right, I'm going to just stop because I can see that we do have a few correct ones going on. Right, let me scroll down very slowly to make sure. Okay, we haven't got any guesses yet. And Carla's gone in there with Purple Haze. So again, Carla's guessed it immediately, and Kevin said Purple Haze straight after as well. So Carla won that one as well. So congratulations to Carla. I think in order to beat Carla, everyone's going to have to be really quick off the mark because as soon as Carla knows it, she puts it straight in there. And Carla knows a lot of riffs. So, yeah, well done, Carla. And we got there in the end with the riff of the week, but at least we did eventually get there. So, we are going to be calling things to a close because with all that drama, it's now 1 here in the morning. So, I'm going to be releasing another video tomorrow night, another analysis video. There's going to be another video on Friday night as well, and a live stream on Saturday night, 12 midnight British summer time. So I'll hopefully see you on Saturday as well. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight, for hitting that thumbs up, for getting us to that Pick Roulette likes goal. That means that we will be having a Pick Roulette next week, which is great stuff. Normal service will be resumed in respect to that. So, as I always say, stay safe, stay sane if it's at all possible, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll see you at tomorrow night's video, and have, you know, a great rest of the Tuesday, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!